Did you guys see this Deadstick landing posted by Cessna 205 back on 20 February? A Cessna 205 stationaire Deadstick landing into Hillsboro Airport, Oregon. Just did an excellent job. Let's check it out. My name's Juan Brown. You're watching the Blanco Lirio channel. The Cessna 205 aircraft was only produced from 1962 to 1964. Looks like about 576 of these were produced. Very popular airplane. This is an extended version of the Cessna 182. Tricycle gear high wing with a strut, wing strut, and a Continental IO 470 engine producing about 260 horsepower. Empty weight about 1,750 pounds. The Continental IO 470 engine, which, by the way, I have two of in Harvey, the 310, is a six-cylinder horizontal opposed air-cooled engine, and the cylinders are numbered like this, 1, 3, 5, 2, 4, 6, with the front of the engine being right here, looking from the top. So if we look at the end of Cessna 205's video, he shows us what brought him down, and it looks like the number 1 cylinder, the farthest aft on the right side of the engine, has separated from the case of the engine. Here's what I believe to be a closer look at that number 1 cylinder, completely removed from the case. You can see the cylinder studs ripped right out of the aluminum case. But as you look inside of here, I believe we're looking at a failed connecting rod, a main bearing of the connecting rod, which in turn shoved this cylinder and the number 2 cylinder on the opposite side completely off of the case. Here's the other side of the engine looking at the number 2 cylinder. You can tell by the number right there. This cylinder is also, well, the case is busted. The cylinder is still attached to the case, but the case is just busted right in half through here. And this is the magneto. This would be the left magneto, completely removed from its housing. Just busted right off of there. Wow, what's going on back here? Yeah, huge, big. That case is just busted right in half. Catastrophic engine failure. If we look at the FlightAware data for 8478 Zulu, we can see he departed S-36, a small airport near Seattle, on an IFR flight plan heading south to Marysville Airport, very close here to Blanco Lirio Global Headquarters. And the engine failure occurred right near the Portland area. If we back up the data here, he's going fat, dumb, and happy here at about 9,000 feet heading south, and then just has to come right on down and maintains a good gliding airspeed. Now, this is ground speed, starting from 154 miles per hour down to about 90 and back up to 100 as he's doing his turns over the airport with the headwind, tailwind situation coming in to land. Here's the area he was over when the engine failed, just west of Portland, and right off of his nose is Hillsboro Portland Airport, located right here in the blue, away from the busy Portland airspace, at 208-foot field elevation, 6,600-foot long runway with a control tower on 119.3. Two parallel runways and a third crossing runway. So let's take this from the top. Here's our 1963 Cessna 205, 8478 Zulu.
70 Zulu, level 9,000. 70 Zulu, red.
1 hour into the flight, at about 9,000 feet.
Departure 8478 Zulu.
8478 Zulu, good.
I think I'm losing this engine.
78 Zulu, roger. And upspeed your discretion, just keep it advised.
Shit, engine just popped and I got smoke in the cockpit. I need to go somewhere immediately.
Okay, so some folks say it's time to say Mayday, 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 or emergency aircraft, but he initially started having engine troubles. He wasn't sure if he was going to have an emergency yet, and then all of a sudden it just popped, and it was quite startling. He was already working with ATC on the IFR flight plan, and it was quite clear conveyed to ATC what had just happened. Everybody knew what just happened. In the airline industry, they all want us to hit Mayday, 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 or Pan, 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 or emergency aircraft right away because the ATC traffic is just so busy. You need to stand out from the rest of the traffic to get their immediate attention. In this case, this worked just fine.
Can I get, is that Hillsboro on my nose here?
70 affirmative, 11 o'clock there, about 6 miles. They're showing wind calm, it's supposed to be 10. Keep left, 200 standard, 1,000 about 3036.
All right, 3036, and it looks like I got them in sight. What were the winds again?
Wind fairly calm.
Beautiful. So perfect setup situation. Even though he's on an IFR flight plan, he's in VFR conditions, and he can see the airport. And it's easily within reach. 9,000 feet to lose. Quick pilot math. We'll see him coming down at a rate of about 1,000 feet per minute. 9 times 2 is 18. 2 miles per minute. He's got plenty of range to make this airfield. Just 6 miles ahead.
All right, I'm going to be over the field just trying to get set up for this. So what's the biggest runway?
The biggest one there would be 13 right or 31 left. Basically whatever runway you need over cat.
All right, we'll figure it out as we get closer in here. Thank you.
Okay.
7 Zulu, Roger, maneuver as necessary, and you just want to go to Hillsboro?
Yeah, I think I got it in sight here off my nose. We'll just go there. I'm and completely prop stopped. Engine it blew up on me here.
7 Zulu, Roger.
Dead stick is the term. Dead stick is the old-timey term because the old propellers were made of wood, and this was fairly common back in the old days. And when the engine seized up like that, it was simply just a dead stick. So here we are descending out of 7,500 feet per minute. Here's some of the gauges, 7,500 feet per minute. We're descending at a rate of a little over 1,000 feet per minute. The engine is dead. The RPM, the tachometer is 0. The manifold pressure is now a barometric altimeter. So here at 7,500 feet, it's indicating about 22 or 23 inches of manifold pressure. Remember, your manifold pressure will go up about each inch or 1 inch per each 1,000 feet of altitude loss. So by the time he lands, this manifold pressure you'll see is up to 30 inches. Here we can see he's got plenty of fuel in the fuel tanks, and the battery is discharging. I believe one of those is the ammeter. So the airplane is going to fly just fine with the engine out. It's all fly-by-wire, steel cables, flight controls, and so he's got plenty of battery power to continue to run the radios and the lights for now to come on in and land. It looks like he's heading about 160.
While I've got some time here, what's the frequency going to be down there?
119.3 for the tower.
All right, 19.3. I'm dialing it in now. I'll stay with you though.
Excellent move. Getting set up early. Get the frequency early so that all you got to do is push the button when you get down there and get closer. In the event of a dire emergency, you could just stay on your request a single frequency approach, but good move. Now it's just a matter of waiting and heading over here to the Hillsboro Airport. Again, keep doing that pilot math. 7,000 feet, 7 times 2 is 14 miles to go. 7,000 feet to lose at 1,000 feet per minute is 7 minutes. Moving ahead at about 2 miles per minute is about 14 miles before you hit the ground. Real quick pilot math. You can just keep updating your descent there. What I like about what this pilot does is he doesn't jump on the iPad and start fiddling around. He's simply flying the aircraft. Remember, in the event of an emergency, I'm going to maintain aircraft control, analyze the situation, and land as soon as conditions permit. In order, you're going to aviate, navigate, and communicate. And that's what this guy does. Coming out of 6.5, descending at 1,000 feet per minute. I can't quite make out the airspeed indicator over there, but he's...
780 on the 13 right through left is about 6,600 feet.
All right, I'm going to try for 13 right here.
780 Roger, maneuver as necessary and clear visual approach runway 13 right.
All right, cleared for the visual, and we'll keep you posted here.
Great initial call. He's...
780, yeah, just let me know if you need anything else. Let Hillsboro Tower know. They're going to have equipment out for you, and let me know when you're ready to switch over to the tower.
All right, Roger. Yeah, we're not going to be able to taxi off or anything. We'll just stay over the field here and hopefully get it in.
That's the big sigh of maybe I should consider a career change. This flying stuff, I don't know if this hobby is the right one for me. We've all been there. So he's heading 130 degrees, and that's a good, or he's heading, 150 degrees. He's heading south. The 1-3 initial call is a great idea because he could just go straight in there if he comes up a little bit short. But he's going to have plenty of altitude for this descent. See the manifold pressure?
And, actually, looking at the smoke blowing down here, it looks like 3-1 left is going to be a better bet for us.
78 Zulu Bravo, sir, no problem. Clear bridge approach 3-1 left.
All right, clear for 3-1 left for 78 Zulu.
You can begin to see the smoke that he's talking about coming off the ground over here. He's realizing that if he goes straight in on runway 13, it'll be a bit of a tailwind landing, so he's going to adjust his plan and make it at landing into the wind as he's got plenty of altitude to make that call, make that decision. Again, you could fiddle with the iPad and get all that information on there, but I'm glad to see he's not fiddling because it takes your single pilot, it takes you away from job number one, flying the aircraft. Use ATC. They got all that information.
All right, Kev, don't piss up. We do this.
70 Zulu, just when you have time.
Did you catch that? Let me rewind this here for a sec. This is classic. This is great. This is what is known as the pilot's prayer. If you've ever flown high-performance jet aircraft, you learned right away that the last thing on your before takeoff checklist was a pilot's prayer. And here's how Kevin does his.
All right, Kev, don't.
All right, Kevin, don't foul this up. And then his solemn, quiet moment of reflection was interrupted by ATC. The classic pilot's prayer. I just love that.
Piss up. We do this.
70 Zulu, just when you have time, I think it's full on board and fuel.
We've got just me on board here, and I had about 4 hours of fuel on board, probably about 65 gallons.
70 Zulu, roger, no problem. Winds currently 310 at 4, runway 31 left, you are cleared to land.
All right, 31 left, we're clear to land. We're just going to orbit over the field here.
Yes, no problem.
The airfield is coming in sight just off the left here. The fuel on board, souls on board is standard procedure for ATC to tell the ARF, the fire trucks, exactly how many people to look for and how much of a fireball can they expect on this situation, or how much fuel do they have to manage in this possible accident. Looks like he's about made it over the airfield and is going to begin his left-hand orbit over the airfield at 3,500 feet, still descending about 1,200 feet per minute. So he's got it made. Great time now.
Approach. Can you give me field elevation for Hillsboro?
167.
That's something I would have gotten much earlier because you want to do these descent calculations. You want to know where your field elevation is, but you can pretty well tell it's pretty close to sea level here in the Portland area, Columbia River Basin. There you can see some of the big mountains off in the distance. And it's going to be especially critical for setting up your pattern approach and landing here to know that field elevation. But again, he didn't go jump
An
on...
elevation of 208 feet.
Roger, thank you. And I can take tower now if you'd like.
70 Roger, and you're cleared to land actually any runway you need, and when you're ready, you can switch to star 119.3.
Over to 19.3. Thanks for your help, sir.
Yep.
Any landing you want.
Hillsboro Tower, stationary 478 Zulu, emergency. We're through 2,500 in the descent, trying for 31 left.
November 8478 Zulu, Hillsboro Tower, Hillsboro, altimeter 3037, wind 310 at 4, clear to land any runway.
Clear to land any runway, 8478 Zulu.
So he's at what we call high key. He's right over the airport, heading in the direction of the landing runway at 2,500 feet. Now he's making his left crosswind turn to downwind turn. If you haven't practiced this before, you need to go out and practice it. We practice this at idle RPM. Is a lot different than at no RPM. You're going to be coming down much quicker at no RPM with a dead stick propeller than you are at idle RPM when you practice it. So here he is at 2,500 feet over the airfield to do a full 360-degree turn back to landing. Now, judge those winds. Don't let those winds blow you too far downwind for your forced landing here. Carry plenty of speed in the final turn. I don't think he's going to bother with using any flaps on this. I believe the 205 has electric flaps in it anyways. And I think, and probably the best call would be just go for a no-flap landing. Okay, looks like left base at 1,000 feet. He's just 1,000 feet above the ground, 1,200 feet on the altimeter here. Looking for that runway. There you can see the smoke up here. We're talking about a slight 4-knot headwind. Maybe a little bit of a side slip right in here. Now bring it on around. Here's the end of the runway, upper left here. Now he's dropping the nose and picking up some extra speed. Kicks it out of the side slip. He's going to slide it right in over the numbers here. Look at that manifold pressure's up to 30 inches here. It's plenty of speed. Right over the numbers, right on center line. Perfect. Plenty of runway. Now all that's left is the Bob Hoover rollout. Stand on top of the wing for your adoring crowd. Boom.
Tower, do you want me to try to make Alpha 5 to get out of your way here?
North 780, if you can, that's fine. If not, no problem. We can work around you. Just do whatever you can. Nice landing.
All right, thank you very much. I'm glad you guys were right here.
There you go. To use that energy, stay off the brakes, just roll right around off, get it off the runway, keep the runway open.
Any preference left or right here? I'll just roll as far as I can for you. You want me to go straight in?
North 780 Zulu, you can go straight in.
Excellent job, 7-8 Zulu. So, maintain aircraft control, analyze the situation, land as soon as conditions permit, aviate, navigate, communicate. It's just that simple. We have too many people losing control of their aircraft during an emergency. This is how you do it. Even though he had everything set up going for him just perfectly here, still, this is how you do it. Good job. Thanks so much for your support of this channel, especially the folks over on Patreon that make this content possible. See you here.